It's Thursday, and you know what Thursday means? Thursday means the screwballs are all back. and, and it's even better this week. Oh, hello, Gary. Gary, I always say that Gary's our side chick because he's always somewhere in the thing. Tonight, obviously, we've got Wayne back. Yeah.
Yes, at last.
Are you trying to say that I'm boring, one?
I'd never say that.
I know, my love. I know.
We love Wayne.
Oh, I know. How are you guys? How has everyone been? How's everyone's week so far?
Fantabby-dozy.
It's work. I've been making loads of apples. Everybody keeps giving me apples, right? And tons of them. Saves me going scrumping. I still go scrumping. It's getting harder now. I'm getting older. My hip doesn't work properly. Can't get up the trees.
Oh, yeah, bless you.
Yeah, so everybody's giving me loads of apples and rhubarb. So I've been making loads of apple crumble, apple pie.
Oh, I'm coming all the way down.
Yeah, and what have I been doing to beetroot? Beetroot. I've steamed a load today and I've pickled them. They're all, they're beautiful, beautiful. So that's all ready for the winter now. So that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
That's all you've been doing. What about you, Mary? You're very quiet, so I'm just going to say Mary.
Well, I had a lot on my mind. As you know, last week a friend of mine died, and
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It was his funeral, and I had to do some things with my mom, but I made it up for myself some happy time. So I went on the road with my little friends. My niece's daughter, and she's 2 years old.
Lovely.
And a big pain in the ass because she is like her mom. She didn't want any sandwich, but she wanted ice cream and potato chips.
You know what Thursday means? Thursday means. Sorry, folks, it's me fucking about.
No, stop fucking about.
Cheeky beggar.
And there was me doing it on the quiet.
Yeah. And of course, I had my conversation earlier today with Shane because he thought there were supposed to be problems, but I don't think so. I asked him who I had to beat up or kick his ass or whatever, but it turned out.
I'll beat his ass too. I don't mind. He's in the dungeon, so I'll beat his ass too.
No, not Shane's ass, but anyone who's gossiping about him.
Yeah. I did hear that. You know what, guys? I want to say something, right? And I'm going to put it out there, right? I love the big guy more than anything in this world, and I am so proud of him for what he did tonight, guys, because it's such a big thing. And let me tell you something, guys. He is still Shane. Nothing changes, and he's still a big, beautiful bear. But don't tell him I said that, or he'll be thinking I'm turning gay. But you know what? He's honestly, he's an amazing guy, folks. So never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I know him for years, and before his transition.
Maureen, baby, where you been?
Yeah, he needed to go to the hospital, so I thought it was something serious. And he asked me, "Don't you know it?" So I asked him, "What?" So he told me what the operation was about, and it took me 10 minutes to set in because I didn't even see it. It was a dude all along. So, yeah, I love him to pieces.
Do you know what, guys? He is the most amazing, beautiful soul, and there's nothing that this man you know, that if we ever needed him, he would be there in a shot. He would be in there in a shot. If I'm having a down day, Shane's always the first in. He say,
Yeah.
"You alright?" And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine. Somebody's disconnected to my tablet. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. Right, that's that now. So yeah, guys, tonight we are talking about
Psychometry.
psychometry.
We can
See,
talk about Psycho if you like. It's quite
Yeah.
a funny film,
well,
actually.
we could talk
Also
about
funny.
psycho. Do you know what, guys? Right, I picked this subject, and I picked this subject because I know that Lynn loves this subject. But not only that, I've discovered recently, right, because what I've got around my neck, guys, a special friend bought for me, right? Unfortunately, that special friend passed away. So I wouldn't have believed. It's not that I wouldn't have believed because I've never picked up an object and felt things and could hear a story. When I picked up, obviously, this chain to put it back on, I felt an energy off it, like a
Yeah.
relaxation energy. It was like I was having a bad day. I put this on, and I felt like my friend was cuddling me.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh wow, I've never actually had this. Then I was getting flashes in my mind and pictures, seeing my friend, and I'm like, holy shit, for just putting this on. Now people are going to think I'm nuts, but it actually did happen. So obviously I've put it on, and suddenly I've had these flashes, the feeling of the cuddle, and I just think it's an interesting. And I have been watching a lot of TikTok. And I have been reading a lot about it, guys, and I find it really, really fascinating how you can pick up an object and get, obviously, something from it, like a story from it. So, Lynn, I'll leave it to you tonight because this is your ground.
Right. Okay. So I found that very interesting what you've just talked about now. I got deja vu then. Right. So when you come to the point where you were saying, I had this, I felt the energy and I felt like I had somebody's arms around me, cuddling me. That's deja vu. Now it's almost like we've been in this conversation doing this. I've been in it before doing this. And it's strange. So what I find really interesting, I've always picked up on energies of objects. I don't have to touch them sometimes. If it's a wooden object, it could be a piece of furniture, trees, anything. I get more energy off the wood. So, example. I went for an interview quite a few years back now, and I had to go into this building. It was an old building, and I walked up the stairs, a very long, elegant staircase. The top of the stair, it was metal all the way up, but on the top was this beautiful wood. I can't resist it. Now, if I go near it and I get an energy off it to say don't, I won't touch it. But this was elegant, so I put my hand and I run my hand all the way up as I walked up to the top of the stairs. 3/4 of the way up, I stopped because I could feel something behind me. And as I looked down, there was a little guy down there, about 5'6". He was, I'd say he was from the 50s. He had a tank top on, knitted tank top, describing. And apparently, I got the job, but apparently that guy haunts the building. So he was welcoming me in there. But the energies that I got off that wood, there was happiness on the banister. There was happiness. There was love. And there was even spite. There was spite on there, but I pick up on the energies. So I thought that was very interesting. And I started doing psychometry at my circle. So what the lady does, I think you're going to be meeting her next week, Lo. So what she does is she'll get everybody to bring an item in. It's like practicing. It's good to practice with it. So people bring items in and put them in a bag or under a cloth or something like that. And then she'll send you all out one by one. And you put your hand underneath, pick it out, hold it in your hand, and you all sit there. And then one by one, she'll ask you what you're picking up on.
Mhm.
And it's energies that you pick up on off objects. So what you're doing, I think, is you're picking up on memories
Yeah.
off these objects. The energies are still there.
Yeah.
And if it's not the stuff that, if I come out with something, I don't, some people say, whose is this, please? I don't like that
Yeah.
before they start. No, I like to go in blind. When I go in blind, I have a good hold of it and I get the energy going round it. And
Yeah.
I will read what I'm getting off that. You have to let the feelings go into your body and you just let it go and talk about what you're getting off that object.
Yeah.
Could be anything. And if it's not connected with them, the person, it'll be off another person that they've been given it or whatever.
Yeah.
I never ask. I just say what I've got to say. And then I'll say, does this connect with anybody here? And I wait to see what they've got to say about it. And then they tell me if it's right or wrong. Most of the time it's right.
Wow.
So it's all about connecting with the energies that's been left there or given. If it's good, bad, with love, anything. It could be that. It could be that. So has anybody here had that type of experience with objects?
I had one early on in the day when I was doing an investigation with Ian Lawman and Phil Wyman, and Ian Lawman picked up that I had this ability, and he wouldn't take his eyes off me all night. He sat us in a room. He says, "Right, I want everybody in here to think of what this room could have been, or what it was." And he said, he looked at me, he says, "Richard, shut the fuck up, because I know you know what this is." And I'm like, "Oh, I haven't got a clue. I hadn't sort of tuned in." So I sat there and I'm thinking, and then we went off out, did a bit of a tour around the airfield, and then came back in, sat back down for another break. And he says, "Right," he says, "anybody got any idea what this used to be?" And people were saying a shed or a mechanic's shed or something like that for the air place. And he says, no. He says, "Well, you're all wrong." He says, "Richard, what was it?" I says, "Well, I feel like there was a lot of death in here." And he says, "What makes you say that?" He says, "What makes you say that?" I says, "Well, I feel sick." I says, "Normally I associate sickness with death." He's like, "Okay." He says, "Anything else?" I feel very hot in here and I can smell burning, I can smell smoke." And he says, "Okay, that'll do." He says, "Well, the actual fact," he says, "this was the RAF cinema and it caught fire and burnt down, and 200 people were burnt alive in the fire."
Wow.
So you got spot on there. I was like, "All right." He says, "Now for your next task," he says, "come out with me." We went out for this little walk and past the brick building, just looked like a bricked up sort of shed. He says, "Put your hands against that wall and tell me what it used to be." I was like, "I don't know if I can do that." He says, "Just put your hands against the wall." He says, "You'll find out." I got about sort of that far away from the wall and I threw up, projectile vomited. I said, "There's a lot of death in there." She says, "I think so. It was the RAF morgue."
Holy
Said,
shit.
"You bastard.
That's
You
good. Yeah.
absolute bastard."
Wow.
And then about a year ago, was it? So we went to Lincoln. I had to go and banish a poltergeist at this lady's house. And we was in the garden because you'd seen shadow figures down there, and we also sensed it. So Gary was touching the tree, And he says, so I'm getting something. He says, has anybody lost a goldfish?
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, is anything buried there? Says, you ever buried a goldfish by this tree? So he picks up on this goldfish. Of course, I touched the tree, and I was gulping for ages and ages. And apparently, the bloke that is there, he died of pleurisy.
Oh my god.
And
Holy
there's
shit.
me gulping and gulping away, thinking I can't get any breath or anything.
Breath,
So moved away from it, and I was sort of all right after that.
Holy shit. What about you, Mary? Because I noticed that you had your hand up, Mary. What about you?
I do these classes for a few years now, every month, and we practice with objects, with flowers, with paintings.
Yeah.
But I had those senses all my life. I get emotions from objects, and since I do that classes, I notice I filter more and
Yeah.
better and always spot on. Yeah,
That's pretty good. I mean, that is amazing for anyone who can pick up objects and start telling the stories. Because I love, like, people think, oh, objects. Now we've seen it millions of times where people, we've even done it ourselves. May go to car boot sales, might go to charity shops, whatever, and say, oh, this is just all worthless piece of junk. But then you find out that there has been things among that have been worth millions, and it hasn't been a piece of junk, and it would have been really, really great to hear the story. Hi, Nicola. Noreen says he's a beautiful soul. He is a beautiful soul. He's my big teddy bear, as I call him. Anthony says, yes, when they say walls have eyes, it is true. People that can read energy off items or walls. It's amazing. As I used to, obviously, like my friend who died, he was really, really good at sensing, touching things as well.
Yeah.
And see what came out. It was MD who can do that sort of stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think a lot of it, well, I say a lot of it, some of it, you have to be careful how you interpret it.
Yeah.
Because obviously, in your case, Lois, you'd got the necklace from a friend who'd recently passed. So any skeptic would say, you've got a link with that necklace regardless.
Yeah.
And that person has passed away. So that person's thoughts are always there in your mind. So when you put on that necklace, your thoughts immediately are going to go, that was my friend that gave me this.
Yeah.
So a skeptic would look at it and say, that's maybe not necessarily you getting the feeling of that person. It's you processing the memories of the friendship with that person.
That's true, actually. When you
if it was someone like Lynn touching the necklace, and she may not, and Lynn doesn't necessarily say, Lynn doesn't know you, and Lynn was to touch that necklace and say, this was given to you by a male friend who recently passed away, then there's the link there.
Yeah.
That is psychometry.
Yeah.
Whereas the skeptic would say, because you were given that necklace by your friend who's recently passed, that's you reliving that friendship.
Right. I get what you're saying.
So there is. I'm not saying that I don't believe it, because I've experienced it myself. And I've experienced Ellen picking up something. Now, Ellen's not the sort of person that would normally come out with anything. She's, when we first met, she was against the idea of there being ghosts or anything like that.
Yeah.
And over the years of knowing me, she's got herself into it so much. But we went to Ruffin Control Tower. We'd never been there before. I didn't even know it existed. I knew there used to be an airfield, but I didn't know anything of the history of it. And as we were travelling up there, Ellen said, I'm getting the name beginning with a J. And the closer we got to it, the more she kept saying it.
Yeah.
But then she came out with the name Jack, and we were literally 3 miles away from the venue. While we were in there with guests, we were in a back room on the ground floor, and we were doing dowsing rods. Ellen was getting nothing. But the second they touched my hands, it was like electricity pulsing through the whole room.
Yeah.
And all the answers we were getting were pointing to this cabin display case.
Yeah.
And in the display case was a navigator's compass. And the spirit that we were communicating with, his name was Jack. Didn't give us a surname.
Oh,
But
But his
wow.
name was Jack, which Ellen was spot on with. And she turned around and she said, "Is that navigator's compass from your plane?" Now, that compass could have been anybody's compass that anybody could have used. But something told her that was his compass.
Yeah.
And it said yes. So we double checked it. It turned out that this compass was from a B-17, which after leaving that room, we went off upstairs. We carried on investigating, and Ellen and one of the guests who couldn't go upstairs stayed investigating downstairs on their own.
Uh-huh.
I got a call through on the radio saying, Wayne, you might want to come downstairs. So I've trundled off down the stairs, gone into this back room, and Ellen's standing there pointing at a picture. And there on the wall was a picture of a B-17 with its flight crew. And at the bottom, like with a football photograph, from top left to bottom right, was the names of all the crew. Wow. And in the bottom right-hand corner, kneeling down with a big smile on his face, was Flight Navigator Jack Fryer.
Amazing. I've gone cold now.
A little side note underneath all of the names was his navigator's compass is on display in the back room.
Amazing.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
We'd never been there before, so we didn't. And I pride myself in not knowing any of the history unless I can unless I have to.
Yeah.
So never being there before, we knew by the point we got there that it was an old USAF airbase during the war.
Yeah.
We didn't know nothing about any of the spirits that reside there. And over a course of 2 years after that first investigation, I kept asking various groups that had gone there, were they picking up on a navigator? Not mentioning any names. And yet countless amount of people come back to me and said, we got a navigator by the name of Jack, or we got Jack Fryer. Yeah. I've had people say we got a picture of him on the airfield with his dog, and his dog's buried on the grounds.
Yeah.
We had a plethora of different things come from different groups all over the place. And all I'd ask them was, did you get a navigator come through during your investigations?
Oh,
and so I believe in psychometry because we didn't even have to touch this compass.
Yeah.
And yet we knew that it was from a plane, and this guy, Jack Fryer, was the navigator of the plane that compass had come from.
Yeah, I think some objects choose you, you know.
Yeah.
I do. I remember years ago, I was over on the Wirral and I was doing this invest, and it was in a pub. So it was empty, and upstairs we were just walking around having a look, and I went into this room and it was full of junk, you know, proper rubbish. And all these people were there, and it drew me in, and I went, and it was a wardrobe, an old wardrobe. I never touched it because I don't like old wardrobes. They hold a lot of bad energy.
You're worried you're going to end up in Narnia.
Yeah.
It was snowing inside.
Yeah. So anyway, I was there, and I started getting all these bad feelings around my throat and that. And these people said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "You might think this is a bit funny." I said, "But I feel like this wardrobe's connected with somebody who's got throat cancer." Well, this girl started crying. The boyfriend or her husband was with her, and I said, "Are you all right?" She said, "That's my granddad's. He's still alive, but he's got throat cancer."
Oh my God.
And I never even touched it. So they do choose you, do you know?
Yeah, and it's like you were saying about boot sales. You know, you can walk along a line of people selling a myriad of objects, and you will look at the tabletops, and something will grab your attention.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, you think, no one's even looked at this, and yet you seem to find a fascination with it.
Yeah.
And even before that, uranium glass was a big thing. I had a thing about uranium glass when I was little. How the fact that it glowed in the dark, you know, it's like this awesome bit of glass. You put a UV light on it and it just glows, and you're like, wow, this is cool. And then all of a sudden, you know, and I would go along boot sales, and it was like I used it as a little money tray, put all my collectible coins on it until I got too many. But I saw this sort of dish, and it grabbed my attention, and I'm like, I've got to have this. And the bloke wanted 10 quid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was completely unaware of how much it was going to be worth in real life. But I said, I'll give you a £5. And he went, no, he said, I really can't go any lower than a tenner. And I said, well, good luck selling it then. And as I walked away, he said, oh, all right, then I'll take a £5. So I paid him the £5, got it home, and it's still sitting in my cupboard now. All these years later, it's still sitting in my cupboard.
Yeah.
But I know, obviously, it's uranium glass.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will go, oh, no, you won't want to touch that, or radiation and all this. But I've got an attachment to that. And at the moment, I don't know what the attachment is. But that grabbed my eye. And that's when I started collecting uranium glass.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I've got some here, actually. It was left in a second-hand shop.
Oh, let's see.
And let me just have a little look. Just bear with me. Bear with me.
But I think, you know, it's awesome when you walk along a boot sale and you can see an object and you just think, other people don't think anything of it.
Yep.
But people that can feel the energy in something, will walk past it and instinctively know that there's something special about that item.
Yeah.
And so you grab it. And some of the times you don't even haggle, which is the whole idea of a boot sale.
Do you know what? You sound like my dad when he tries to haggle with anything. He haggles with everything right down to the last penny.
Yeah.
And he'll kid on that he's phoned, like, for example, when he needed tyres, he said to Quick Fit, you know, this garage offered me this amount, blah, blah, blah. And they took then another. I was like, you old bastard.
Yeah, but that's how you get value for money.
Oh, well, you're saving money. You are saving money.
Yeah, but if they turn around to you and say it's £85 a tyre, and you turn around to them and say, well, if I buy 2 tyres, will you charge me? I'll pay 150 for 2 tyres. And they accept it, you've saved yourself some money.
See, I know where I'm going wrong, ladies and gentlemen. The next time I want to haggle, I'm going to Mr. Wayne. He can do it for me.
It's always worth a haggle.
Wow, amazing, Wayne. But it is amazing. Do you know what? I'm fascinated with certain objects. There is certain objects that attract my eye. Do you think, right, here's a question, right, and you might be a wee bit sceptical on this, but do you think when you have past lives, right, say for example, I don't know, a Viking princess or something, I go to a car boot sale, I fucking wish, and then I go to a car boot sale and something there that triggers my past life memories. Do you think that's a possibility that could happen?
Yeah.
Could be, yeah. Could be.
I've got a thing about Duxford. The Duxford Air Museum.
What?
Duxford Air Museum in Cambridgeshire.
Right.
And that is courtesy of apparently my past life.
Oh.
Apparently in my previous life, I died on the beaches at Dunkirk. I was part of the British Expeditionary Force, and I didn't make it out. But I've always had a thing about World War II.
Yeah, you have said that.
Ever since I've been able to read. So I go to Duxford and they've got an exhibition, the Land Warfare Museum.
Yeah.
And at the far end of the exhibition, they've got an old beach landing craft, and as you walk through, it's got TV screens and speakers, and on the side it's got one of the naval guys standing there pointing in which direction you're supposed to be running in.
Yeah.
But they're playing the sounds of the waves and bullets flying past you and things like that. And the second I set foot in that landing craft, it's almost as if I feel like I'm there. I know that's what they're projecting through the use of sound and visuals. But I get that extra feeling, and it makes me shiver, and I'm like, whoa, this is really weird, because the second you step off, right in front of you is a bombed out building with German guns and the dummies of soldiers standing there looking at you with their guns pointing at you. And there's just something about it that sort of makes me think, okay, poor sods didn't know what they were letting themselves in for when they came off of those landing craft, but it was almost as if I was there and I was living it again.
Yeah.
And it's freaky how they've done it, but it's an awesome experience.
It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Anthony says it's like the items call out to you, or when you get to the building that you're checked out and it starts just talking to you before you've even entered it. Noreen says, Melton Mulberry is my place. I went there for the first time and felt at home, and I knew my way around everything. It's a weird feeling. Do you know what, guys? It is weird when things like that happen. Whether it's objects, whether it's places, whether it's like maybe a song that triggers. It's fascinating. It is a really, really fascinating subject, and it will be coming up soon, guys. We will be talking about past lives.
And I think that's why a lot of investigators use specific songs from certain time periods.
Yeah.
Things like playing, if you go to a war museum or an old war cemetery or something like that, and you play things like Dame Vera Lynn or Glenn Miller.
Yeah.
Sometimes the energy that's generated by playing those songs can help the activity materialize a lot more.
Yeah.
And it's weird, like you say, it's weird how that link and the songs and things can actually sort of project out a lot more and bring in the energy more.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had that up in Mill Street Barracks.
Yep.
Quite a few times. I mean, it's a very active place. If you pay Vera Lynn or stuff like that, the place comes alive.
Yeah.
Completely alive.
Yeah.
I've seen cat balls. We've been sat there. You put the music on. It's all in the dark. Then the cat balls light up and they're rolling around the floor.
Yeah.
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 And me, I try and talk out what it could be, could not be. But they've been there all night, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it's on the go. It's on the go. So yeah, I think music, and also if you dress up, in that period.
Yeah, the Singapore period
comes out, doesn't it? All this stuff comes out.
Yep.
Do you know what, guys? I've often wondered, why do they call it the Singapore theory? It's quite
I have no idea.
Why do they call it the Singapore theory? It's quite weird.
Singapore, I don't know.
Quite a weird one. Anthony says it's like river dance and the sound of river dance. That's very true. Noreen says, I've also been to a house in Coventry and no problem, love, and knew the layout of the house, even down to a small room that wasn't obvious. I definitely knew the house. I felt it so strongly. I've never been to this house before. Do you know, funny guys, you hear the stories of people who buy houses and they may have friends in who are mediums or whatever, and they discover that they've got wee hidden compartments in their house. I find that dead freaky because there's plenty of places. Sorry, that's my man laughing at TikTok. He's in the background. Try to hold it all.
He's waiting on there again.
So obviously, he's sitting here probably going like that to me. But obviously, it happens when you go into some houses where they have hidden compartments. That even the last owners didn't know about. I would love to explore them personally to see what their history is, especially if they're hidden and the owner doesn't know anything about them. They're good compartments. They're the best compartments.
Secret ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Has anybody ever come across them?
No, I wish.
Secret compartment.
Yes.
You have?
Yeah, rooms that aren't supposed to be there.
Yeah. I've come across one, but that's all.
I came across one in the local shipyard where my granddad was killed. It was disguised as the entrance, the doorway was disguised as a normal wall, and the pattern on the wallpaper was wasn't quite like it was like oak leaf pattern. I was going to say the fleur de lis, but it was more of an oak leaf.
Yeah.
And the button to actually open the door was one of the oak leaves.
Oh wow!
And you had to push a specific oak leaf for the latch to come undone.
Oh.
And you would hear the latch go up. If you press the oak leaf in the right place, you'd hear the latch come up and the door opened, and you stay able to pull it open. But the actual building itself, when we went in this building, it was about 10 years after the shipyard had closed down, and nobody really went in there. So it was just left to gather dust, and in the dark, you wouldn't have noticed it unless you were specifically looking for it.
Yeah.
Only my granddad worked there, because obviously that was where he was killed. But I knew that there was an extra room in there because of the outside looked different to the layout on the inside.
Yeah.
And there was no access to this extra bit of building from upstairs. So I knew there had to be something downstairs. So of course I've gone over to the wall, and
my darling.
You could hear the hollowness in the wall.
Hey, Robert.
Hello. I literally put my hand on this, and the first oak leaf I put my hand on, it clicked.
Oh,
and it sprung open.
Wow.
And all it was a little office.
Right.
That was all it was just a little office. There was a light up on the ceiling. There was a desk in one corner, and a little rack for sort of, like the old, the in section and the out section.
Yeah.
There was one of those sort of tray systems at either end of the desk. One was in and one was out.
Yeah.
Nothing in it. There was just an empty, dusty room. And we're like, well, that's pretty cool. How many people actually knew that room was there?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what? You must have been disappointed.
Yeah, keeping it secret something. Yeah.
I was, because I was hoping there was going to be something in there.
As you do. Mary, Robert, what about Richard? What about you guys? Have you ever found a secret compartment in a house?
I haven't.
Well,
Gary has.
Some of the places that we've rented, they've had one of them in particular had the big porch window type things, the ones that were sort of out and then in, like, I'm not sure how to explain it, but they had the almost half an octagon.
Yeah.
And that had the bench seats, and the bench seats open up. That's about the only place that we found that had a secret compartment.
Wow.
Wow.
They could actually open up where the seat was, and it was empty, just like Wayne's was, but still, you wouldn't expect there to be anything underneath there.
Yeah. I can imagine you and Wayne going, stop this. Yeah, there's nothing here. I can imagine.
Disappointed.
Gary, what about you? What's your story?
Who, me?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, well, just telling Richard that Cardiff Castle is absolutely chock-a-block full of hidden rooms, tunnels, and all sorts. If you know where to look in there, then, it's absolutely riddled. There's one off of Lynn may know this one, where all the characters are on the walls in there. You press the correct.
Where is it? A castle?
Yeah, Cardiff Castle.
I've never been to Cardiff Castle.
Oh, you've never been there?
No, it's South Wales. I live in North Wales. Completely different.
Ah, right. I understand now. Yeah, but anyway, if you press the correct panel on there, right, yes, you will get through into the hidden corridor, which leads
amazing.
into, as Wayne was saying, dusty old rooms.
Yeah.
Basically, what I used to do when I was living down in a place called Dinners Palace, which is just outside of Cardiff, was spend quite a bit of time in Cardiff Castle. You know, and I remember well, you know, used to be as a young sort of like cheeky chappy, like, you know, wandering away from the tour, as I usually do now, as Rich can attest, you know, wander away from the investigations and going my own way, like.
Oh, he sounds very Welsh, you know, then.
I know. I was like,
very Welsh then when you're going away from the investigations, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, really. I'm Wales, like. But anyway, you know, went into the castle, walked away from the tour, like, you know, and for some reason, I don't know why, you turned right rather towards these stone steps, felt something coming up towards me, so I decided to stop and turn around, like as you do. And I walked away, like, you know, and into this room where all the characters are up on the wall above the fireplace and that. And for some reason, something told me to push this panel. So I pushed the panel, and this door just literally opened up, you know, creaked open, like, you know. So I went in, you know, that was probably one of the first few times that it physically come across a full manifestation. You know, it looked as if somebody was sat in the room that the corridor led to. But the thing is, I knew it was a spirit because of the way the spirit was dressed, with all the flouncey bits around the legs of the trousers, and, you know, well, if you can call them trousers, more like blousers or shorts, if you like.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they're like bloomers, aren't they? They're like bloomers. Yeah.
Oh, I could see is Bridget Joneses.
Yeah, could very well be, Willow. Could very well have been, but I don't know about women's knickers these days looking like that.
Well,
mine's getting a bit bigger. I'm tucking the tits in now.
Maybe, you never know. It could have been a bedroom.
I was saying about Bridget Jones's diary, I expect you to open up a hidden door and find a big pair of pants in there.
Oh,
you still got no, you're right that way.
Noreen says, I've had a recurring dream since I was a child about a house with a hidden staircase leading to a room filled with dusty furniture and period clothing hanging up. What period clothing hanging up, Noreen? The staircase was behind a panel in a big room. Anthony says, yes, I've came across a few that just cover up or even small pocket doors. Did you get anything, Anthony, from them? Were you a rich man? But it's amazing what you find in these wee rooms, or you read about that people find in the rooms, like things like, you know, old furniture, like Noreen's saying, you've got other different things, but it's an interesting subject, it really is, and I've really sat content tonight, obviously listening to you guys' experiences. Yes, Mr. Wayne.
I've just remembered something. We investigated for Truth Beyond Paranormal down at a place called Three Bridges Mill in, is it Berkshire? Aylesbury Way. And we found an outbuilding, and tucked away in the corner, we found this old box, old wooden box, and inside it was just loads of different bits and bobs. But we found letters that dated back to the 1920s.
Oh.
And we brought them home.
Oh, can I have one?
A lot of the letters were talking about a family feud.
Right.
Oh,
And there was an issue with the person that had written the letters with his parents, who were still living at the place.
Yeah.
And it was saying about how they felt sorry for what they had to do, but they felt that they hadn't got any choice.
Yeah.
And so they sort of walked away from it. And we were thinking, why has someone just left that box there? Because it was in, well, I can only describe it as like a farmer's garage.
Yeah.
Because the whole area was farmers' fields, apart from this mill. And it looked like it was an old sort of a tractor garage.
Yeah.
With metal shutters. But the main thing that was in this place was literally pallet loads of books.
Wow.
And it was all the same book. We counted, there must have been a couple of hundred of these books, and it was all the same book from an author based in America. But it was just this one box tucked up in the corner that just had these really, really old letters and stamps and various bits and bobs, which had obviously come from inside the house originally and had been moved into this, and nobody bothered moving them. But we've still got them now. I think they're in one of our drawers here.
Wayne,
Ellen's going on a hunter's mission. She's going to go and find it now.
Can I be cheeky and ask you to photocopy a few and send them up to me, so I can tear them up and put them in my scrapbooks that I do?
Do you know what, guys? Lynn does amazing scrapbooks, honest to God. It is. She does.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's all right, Gary. What's up?
I was just wondering as to whether that book was fly fishing.
It was a book on how to succeed in everything you do. And this guy reckoned he was a #1 bestseller, and I thought, yeah, because you brought your own book and dumped them all in the UK so that no one would find them.
That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. Noreen says the clothing was long ladies' gowns. Oh, sounds good, Noreen. Sounds good. But yeah, the old letters. Do you know what, guys? I love reading old letters with the world wars that people found, because some of them are so heart-wrenching. And it's just you do hope that the people that were expecting to get the letters have got them, did get them to read. But it's heart-wrenching. It really, really is heart-wrenching. Some of these letters, especially when they're talking about the children being sent away during the war. They were going to different places, and I can't even begin to imagine how heartbreaking that must have been.
That would have been quite upsetting for some of them kids.
Oh God, yeah.
Right, we found one here.
Oh, I'm listening.
But this is from the 30th of July, 1941.
Right.
The year that, it was the year my gran and papa were born, but not in November.
I think this was written by a child.
Oh.
Judging by the handwriting and the pictures on the back, this was written by a child. Dear Douglas, I know you're worrying about us because you sent a parcel to us. I'm longing to see you again. I have a bad cold just now and I do not go to school. Robert has been coming home every weekend to see us. He called me sweet or chicken last Sunday. Eric and his young lady called Mary. They had, I can't read that bit. Tea. Oh, they had tea here. Eric could not. Oh, well, it's gone all blurry. I can ride a bike now. I've ridden one for a long time. I am 8 years old now and nearly 9. From your loving sister, Rosemary.
Oh.
And jeez. So that's the actual page itself.
Oh my God.
And then she's drawn pictures on the back.
Love that.
Oh.
I would love. I'd really love a photocopy of that.
Wayne,
I mean,
why do you not put them? Wayne, why do you not put them in 40 frames? Like put them.
well, we weren't too sure what we were going to do with them because they have got some historical value to them.
Yeah.
But we're trying to sort of put them all together, but we think
Or laminate them.
they have come from somebody
laminate.
that has a link to obviously somebody in this place.
Yeah.
And they've attached the little girl's letter with the main letter.
Yeah.
Right.
And the main letter's 6 pages. Oh, 5. Yeah, 6 pages long. So it literally, it's all of that. We do have a couple of others floating around somewhere. But, you know, I think this was the one where they stated about there was something happened within the family and this person walked away from the main family at the house.
Wow.
Which obviously wasn't taken too kindly because obviously during the war times, usually families stuck together. You know, when you look at, you know, families nowadays is nowhere near what the families that you had in 1941 and, you know, families were families stuck together, you know, families were strong and things like that. Don't get me wrong, what happened behind closed doors? Some doors, but you had your good families who absolutely were amazing, were married for a long time. Me and Lynn have obviously worked in the care industry. I think, Mary, you've worked in the care industry yourself, haven't you?
Yeah.
The healthcare, and you meet a lot of couples, a lot of old couples who have been together 40, 50 years, 60 years. And it's just amazing. You don't get that nowadays. You don't get anywhere near what the old dears had together, and it's so sad to see. It is really so sad to see. But I say nowadays kids wouldn't survive now. If it was back then, you know, you had no internet, you had to go and chat somebody's door, and things like that. You don't do it anymore. It's like text messages, video chats. You know, you've got everything like that, and people just became, and even including myself, but people became really lazy.
Introverts.
Yeah.
And dependent.
Yeah. See, I collect things. So when they, where I do a lot of stuff is, it's always been up at Wepper. So many years ago.
Yeah.
And I've got a really connection with everything there. So many years ago, I mean, I got these, when they were doing like, they were building onto the visitor centre, which is built over the old hall. So that, I don't know whether you can see that. Can you see that? That is the drive up there. This is what the hall actually looked like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So on top of that, you've got, this was just before it was shut down.
Oh, wow.
These are the people that worked there. These were the groundsmen and the shooters.
Wow.
And then this was like a summer jamboree. And this is about the family that owned them. I've got the full thing on the whole lot. Who worked there, where they lived, where they were born, where they died, from 1831, going right the way back. I've got all that. I've got this. That was a fight when the land was being sold. There was a court thing. So I've got all the names of the people who were in court. So I've got all of them. Listen to this for a name. Anne Tryphosa Dobb Clement. What a name!
What the hell?
What a name! So I've got all that. I've got it all there. And see, and every time I pull these out, and these are photograph copies that I took there, you can feel it. You can feel it all. It's all there.
Yeah.
date, what it actually looked like.
Lynn, here's a question for you, love. See, when you're touching paperwork like that, do you ever get the flashes of obviously the? I know what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry.
The tactile thing, where you can see what happened, in the past.
Well,
yes. See this one here. It's a bit like it's a census, and it's
right.
a few years of the census there. And what they done, they put everybody in there. And I'm trying to find one person, two persons actually, but they're all in here. The governors, the servants, people who were mentally ill, who were round the twist, spinsters, everybody. The whole lot's in here. So it's the whole lot's here. You could sit and read this, and you still wouldn't understand what the hell it was going on about.
do you know what? See, my gran used to, God love her soul, she used to clean in folks' houses, and this woman had like a bookshelf like you wouldn't believe. And I picked up what my gran used to do was sit me in where all the books were, and she'd tell me to sit there until she'd done the cleaning. But she said she didn't mind if I read some books so that I could have probably understood. But when oh God, Nick. Right. I'm going to take myself out for a bit, right? Okay. Guys, to let Nick in. So he can. Right, so I'm still be backstage, guys. I'll still do my comments.
Okay.
All right. Yep.
Right. Do you know we were talking about secret rooms?
Hey, Nick.
Yep. What's up, guys?
Hi, Nick.
Hello. I was not expecting to extend the show. I just wanted to stop in and just say hi to everyone.
Yeah. We love you, Nick. We love you. Oh. That building had secret panels in it. It had tunnels in it. The tunnel is still there, but it's shut off now. I've been in the tunnel. I went about 20 foot, come back out, couldn't do it. Really bad. That was all shut down. But they found.
Yeah, in which halls are?
That's Wepper.
Wepper?
Yeah, where Yulo Castle is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. It's where the visitor centre is now. That's what it used to be. They've got the original cellar underneath. Right, so that's what there is. But they did find 2 dead nuns in the walls there.
Right.
Yeah. So, it's an interesting place. You can just feel it when you go there. Just going in that visitor centre. It's all very modern inside, but if you know your way downstairs, you get to see things. You get to see and feel stuff in there. It's really interesting. Right. But it's all about secret buildings. It's like this cave that I go to. You've all seen the pictures of the lions and the structures and all that lot. Now, to me, there is a secret entrance there somewhere which takes you down into corridors, which would have taken you down to the massive house. It ended up as a nunnery and all that, and the priests lived there. They all lived there. It's private housing now. It's massive. It's worth a lot of money, but there's definitely secret, and there's got to be a way of getting in there. Do you know what I mean? It's like you said.
I know where that is.
Yeah. Well, I go
can't
there.
tell you though because it's a secret.
Yeah, that's it. I go there often. I do. Not on my own, but I go there often. So it's an amazing place, isn't it? What about you, Nick? What have you been up to?
Not very much. It's been pretty quiet recently for myself. I'm still working on my audiobooks, which that's, it's getting there. It's still going to take a while, but I'm working literally around the clock to get these released by late September, early October. So for the most part, it's been quiet. Of course, since Robert's here too, obviously, still playing Minecraft with Robert, obviously.
Lovely, lovely. Have you ever found a building, Nick, with secret rooms?
It's a really good question because I feel like I have. There was one location out there that I thought, I could have sworn there was at least one location here in the. You know what it might have been actually was when we first. This is a location I brought up previously, is the Joliet prison that we have here, just an hour from where I live, and obviously, yes, that at that time, excuse me, at that time, there was actually no. I take it back. It wasn't Joliet prison. It was that high school that I told you guys about, Schurz High School.
Yeah.
And we discovered what almost looked like a secret passageway directly under the school. And like when you see Schurz High School to begin with, you think of it as like any other high school. It's a giant school, and it's also of historic significance. It was built in 1910, and for only one time during one of our investigations that we did, we were allowed to go to the subterranean areas, which would have been, the maintenance area of the school. And of course, obviously, unless you're an employee there, nobody's allowed in that area.
Yeah.
But when we went to these subterranean areas, it was like they were like these long tunnels. And we went into this room that I still to this day don't even know what I can call it. It almost kind of looked almost like a tomb, as I would say. It was just this little room, and it was like as you're walking, it's wide. It's like as you're walking, it's like you're going downhill, and the more further you go down, the lower the ceiling gets. So you can't even get to the end of the room.
Oh.
But then just near, I actually did take some pictures, which problem was it was 10 years ago, so you would have to go through a lot of pictures to find them. If I ever find them, I'll send them to you guys so you can get an idea of what this was. And I actually did take a professional kind of look, during the investigation. And there was this other room, however, that again, it was kind of the same description, but definitely a lot more different, where it was definitely some type of additional underground tunnel that I'm not sure exactly what its purpose is. I mean, at first glance, you would think, well, maybe it was to act like a crawl space or some type of storage area. But when we were in there, you could clearly tell that nobody has been in this part of the school for several years. I mean, I would say probably within the last 50 years or so that it may have been really touched or used for any reason. And unfortunately, I wish I could have done this looking back. It was like an endless tunnel, so I never did find out what was further beyond that tunnel, because you have to remember, you're deep underground. It's like you have the entire building on top of you, and it does, even though I'm not claustrophobic, it does give you that claustrophobic feel, because sometimes you kind of wonder, like, are these walls really strong enough to be holding, like, no, there's gonna be like an earthquake or something, and next we're crushed to death or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's not only just the thought of that, it's also typical of such locations. You also got to worry about asbestos or any type of harmful material or substance, because understandably we may have knew a lot about the school, like where to go, but this was an area we were not familiar with, so I couldn't take that risk. So that's probably the closest I think I can come up with for a secret room, because after that, we were not allowed back in that part of the school.
Right, but you've been there, and that's the thing, isn't it?
Been there.
Can I ask you about psychometry?
Psychometry.
Do you know what psychometry is?
I have heard of it, but that's still kind of a new topic to myself, so I'm still kind of getting into it.
Touching stuff and seeing in the past.
Oh, wait. Okay, now you said that. See, again, I couldn't remember. I knew what it was. I just couldn't exactly remember what the term was. So thank you, Robert. I have gotten that. I believe in some way that I do kind of have that ability, like, either touching something or just standing in a particular area where.
Yep, you'll see flashes of things.
Yeah, it's more like flashes. It's not like obviously like we see in some of these movies where it's like a black and white screen, and we're seeing it like as if we're watching a movie or something. It's like, best way I could describe it, it's like photographs are being put into my head.
Yeah.
An idea. That's probably the best I can describe. Yeah.
It's also like you can, as we were talking about it before, and it's also it's like Richard says, and it's about like buildings. You can get the feeling off the wall, stuff like that. It's a bit like the stone tape theory.
Yeah.
In a way, not exactly, but you know, sometimes not. I suppose not everybody, but if you can tune your way in, you can actually touch a building, go off it, and you can get the energy off that building, and it draws you in. It draws you in. I think that's a really strange. It's almost like they're waiting for you to come. Whatever they are, don't know, but something's waiting to tell you a story. It's waiting. It's crying out. It's holding energies of things that's past, good or bad, but it's there, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Well, and you know, considering that spot of the school that I went to, I mean, it was almost like as if I would want to say maybe this was like where it all started into the school's construction. So perhaps, I can't say for sure, I may have been in kind of like the original building zone of the school. I mean, yes, the school was, you know, additions were added also in the 30s. Exactly what this basement area was, and I don't think I'm ever going to find out exactly what that area was, but no doubt, despite the fact that this was kind of a dangerous area too, not to mention, it definitely was a very active area. And considering that, once again, nobody has been there in several years, you can only imagine just whatever is haunting that area, the stories that they really wanted to tell us, because in their minds they're thinking, oh my God, it's been like 50 years since anybody has really actually been down here and wants to know about us. So we may have not, as I would say, we may have not gotten the entire stories, but at least we got some answers in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's almost like there's like a lost soul thing going on there, isn't there?
It is. That's pretty much the best way I could describe it. And just the overall feeling of being in this area, to be honest, it felt almost cave-like. But I'm also kind of curious of wondering again, not just the entities that are haunting this area, but again, it does make you wonder, how far does this underground tunnel go? Like, does it go to like other buildings connecting to other parts of the city? I have no idea, because it was just it was a very unusual find, that's for sure. And it's just one of those kind of things that like most teachers and students don't even know about, and it's literally right under their feet.
Yeah, it's Carousel, isn't it? We had a quite a modern high school here. It was built in 1973. That's when I first went to it, when I was 13. And I didn't know until about 2 years later they had a secret room upstairs with a bath in.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. And I only found that out because I was getting bullied by somebody, so I threw a load of itching powder down the back. And they insisted that she goes and has a bath. So,
oh, wow.
To wash it all. It's her own fault. She shouldn't have bullied me, you know.
Guys, I just decided to look it up. I did find at least 2 photographs of this underground area, so I'm going to send them to you in the chat so you get an idea of what these secret tunnels kind of looked like.
We had something similar here in Colchester. We had a mental health hospital, and they had a series of tunnels that ran underneath the hospital, so the staff could get from A to B without any issue. And when they changed their methodology on treating patients, they closed the tunnels off, and staff were able to walk the corridors without the risk of getting hurt or being chased or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I worked in the catering department up there, and we'd heard the rumours about the tunnels, but never knew where we could gain access. And one Sunday, it was a relaxing day. Sunday, you just literally dished up the food, take it down at the wards, and then you chilled out for a while. And while we were in the staff room, we were all like looking about, and we saw this trapdoor in the room.
Yeah.
And when we lifted it up, it was one of the surface entrances into the tunnel system. And literally, the second you actually got down into the tunnel, there's a map on the wall of where the tunnel led.
Right.
And from where we were, I think you literally went down one long tunnel, which led to the main hall in the hospital, which was about 200 meters away from where we were. And then you turned left, and then there was a main arterial tunnel, which went 1.5 miles down the road to Colchester General Hospital. And it was literally to lead from there all the way down to Colchester General Hospital, where the morgue was. So anybody that died in that hospital would be pushed on the gurney down to the General Hospital rather than being transported overland.
Yeah.
So they could be taken from A to B in secret. And we were like, yeah, we'll go for a little way, and then we won't go any further just in case we get lost.
Do you think they use it similar to like, say somebody had died, do you think they use that to take the people out?
Yeah, they used the main arterial tunnel was used to take the any of the deceased from that hospital down to the General Hospital, which was 1.5 miles down the road, because that's where the main morgue was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they would literally use the main arterial tunnel underneath, because the actual hospital itself was behind a housing estate.
Right.
So you'd got loads of houses in between both hospitals. So it didn't cause any issue with traffic or anything else like that. They'd get one of the porters to take the body down to the General Hospital using the tunnels.
Good idea.
To keep any diseases that the body might have from affecting.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
It's possible.
Can I just answer this to Noreen a minute? She says there's an entrance to the Monk's Tunnels in the woods near me. Noreen, if you ever fancy going for a little walk round there, let me know and I'll come with you. That's all I'm saying. Right, go on.
I'll go as well.
Sorry, Robert, go ahead.
I wasn't talking.
Okay. No, as you guys saw that I just sent in the picture, so those are the actual areas that I was just talking about. And yes, there is indeed a sense of claustrophobia when you see it. And that picture of me that you guys saw, me kneeling on the ground, I mean, again, I was kind of doing that as a professional stance, but also that was kind of the halfway point from where the ceiling was really starting to get low, like to the point that if I had to go to the back of that room, I would literally have to crawl in order to get to the other side. And I was not going to do that, obviously. And yes, in case anybody asks, you probably saw I had a beard. I was 22 years old that time. That was 10 years ago. But that was just such a really cool area to be around. But I've still been always curious of finding out, what exact purpose was that area on the tunnels used for. Again, I don't think I'm ever going to get the answer, but that really had that, it definitely did have that element that, hell yeah, that area was definitely active. And
do you know what, Nick? Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of some of the tunnels that they've got in Nottingham, or some of the Knights Templars caves that you find. It's the arches on it.
That's right.
I mean, that could be, you don't know, that could be a way of airing the building.
It could be. It very likely could be.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to keep the buildings aired. It's vented. Like people nowadays, they fill the outside of the cavity of the houses with all this stuff to warm it up. But what they're not doing, they need that out. They can't put it in because you have air bricks to air your building to keep it dry.
Yep.
And they don't, and they just lock it up and it all goes damp and you've got
Mouldy.
black everywhere.
Yeah, it depends. It depends if you've got air bricks on ground level and your floorboards are suspended above a foundation.
Yeah.
Then having the air bricks just above ground level is fine, because when you put the cavity wall insulation in, air bricks are put right the way through both sections, so it goes underneath the floorboards.
Yeah.
So the air is still allowed to circulate through. And when it gets to the top of the walls in the roof of the house, you have to leave a gap roughly 4 inches deep, so that air can come in through where the guttering is. And you put air vents in on the underneath of the fascias as well, so it allows air to circulate through.
Yeah, very much so. But either way,
I used to work in loft and wall insulation. So
fantastic.
Sorry, I'll let you in. They're the trade secrets. Yeah, you had to leave 4 inches away from the edge of the eaves of the roof. Right. That way, the air was able to come in and circulate around the top, and then air bricks would be just under the level of the floorboards to allow air to come through on ground level and come underneath the house under the floorboards. And that's why a lot of people, a lot of insulation and ventilation specialists say about having carpets rather than lino.
Yeah.
Because if you have lino, the air comes in underneath the floorboards, got nowhere else to go but out the other air bricks.
Yeah, I mean, either way, you can clearly see from those pictures that, again, that is pretty much some of the original construction of the actual building itself. I wish I could have figured, and it's funny you mention that, because some people would probably ask, was it hot? Was it cold when we were down there? I recall when we were down there, it wasn't like hot. It wasn't really hot or cold. Surprisingly, it was still a relatively good temperature. Although, obviously, I mean, if you see closer, I am sweating. But that's mainly because, again, when you're going through these tunnels, obviously, it's quite a workout when you really think about it. So it was more from a lot of the kind of crawling through areas and stuff to get to this area. But, either way, was it used as an airway? Again, I'm not sure. But it's also interesting that you meant that it kind of reminded you of the tunnels in Nottingham when you said that, Lynn. It also reminded me of another location, which I'm sure we all know exactly. But I remember when I was going through that area, I was immediately thinking also of the Paris catacombs of Paris.
Yeah.
It just looked like something out of the catacombs immediately. And it just literally, when I was in that area, it's like for a few seconds, you kind of forget that not only do you forget I was in Chicago, I'm thinking I was in France, but more importantly, you also almost forget the fact that you're actually still in a high school, obviously, because those pictures, clearly, they're concrete walls, again, rooms, these pipes, these tunnels that have been used in several years.
You wouldn't know that was a school. You would not know
that
was a school. No.
You would think immediately like, not only just like catacombs, you would think like underground tunnels, like sometimes inmates dug up in prisons and stuff to escape. It's like, as an example.
It almost looks like the designer of the building was having a laugh when he did that section.
It kind of felt like, it kind of was.
No, I'm being serious, because like, as soon as I saw the picture, I got an image of the original Willy Wonka. You remember when they go in they go in that room, don't they? And as they walk up the corridor, it gets smaller and smaller until they get to a really small door.
Yeah, you're right.
And it reminds me of that like the designer of the building has done this for a joke.
Yeah.
And gone, let's see you get to the end of this. It's almost as if you got a grudge or something and thought, you know what, I'm going to stitch him up and make this basement go all funny.
Yeah.
Just to fly them out.
Imagine going in there and getting stuck right at the end and the lights nobody else to get out.
I was one of the tallest guys in that room. I was not going to try to take that risk, obviously. So I did the smart thing and just stayed at the halfway point. And then after, when I realized that it was too low, that's when I turned around and got out while I still could. But as far as I know, the construction of the school, like I said, at first construction was it lasted for 2 years, from 1908 to 1910. That's when it officially opened its doors.
I wonder if it was built on a rock base which was in different levels.
That's a really good question. I haven't found that out yet. I mean, obviously it's been a while since I've actually done the history of it. So perhaps now that well over a decade has passed since our last visit, I'm hoping that there's going to be a lot more, history available that wasn't available for me. So that's a really good question. So I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah.
Did you work out what was directly above it?
Yeah, it's like I said, as far as I know, like after the school was built and opened its doors in 1910, I mean, it was already a pretty large building to begin with. But like what it looks like today, additions were not added until pretty much about 25 years later into the 1930s. And as far as I know, there hasn't really been any other additions added, at least as far as I know. Like I said, it was last time it was done over 90 years ago. So pretty much everything's pretty much been the same as it was when it was first built. And I actually, during one of the investigations, we actually had one of my aunts come out, one of my dad's sisters, because I found out that back in the 70s, she was originally supposed to go to that school. So she would have been a former student, but unfortunately she ended up going to a different school. But still, we decided to take her out. She has interest in the paranormal. I mean, not really necessarily in the investigative kind of thing, but she still has the interest in it. But she was just kind of more or less wanting to walk through for nostalgic purposes. And she did tell me that although they're, all right, hey, Nikki's on. Hey, Nikki. She did tell me that although obviously things have changed throughout different areas of the building, like modernized and whatnot, she also confirmed that a lot of what she saw was exactly what she saw back in the 70s. So again, you kind of have the originality to it, to even the upper part of the building versus the underground area.
Yeah, but what I meant was, what was directly above that area that you were in?
Oh, well, exactly. What was I don't know exactly. I don't remember exactly what was above that area. I would assume it was probably either the actual basement itself, or actually, either that or it might have been one of the school hallways just directly above the area.
Yeah,
so, like I said, it's like right under kids and teachers' feet.
It just seems to me that is rather a large space with very little support.
Yeah.
That's why I said I was concerned about going deeper into the area, was like, because I did have that feel like, as much as I'd love to go check out the rest of this tunnel to see how far it goes, something tells me that I just had that feeling that something was going to collapse. And if it collapsed, that would have been it. The entire building would have literally sat right on us, and that, oh my God, that would have been terrible. So I just couldn't bring myself to go through that area, because just like anything, obviously, it's all about safety, and it was my safety side that activated more than the actual curiosity, paranormal investigating side.
It still looks pretty clean, though. Like they must have taken care of it.
I think it still was.
Where you're kneeling, it looks like concrete.
Yeah, I mean, it still was pretty clean, but obviously there was a thick layer of dust everywhere. See, there is one thing that I wish I still don't have it to this day. I wish I could have used this type of particular tool. Some of you guys might know exactly what I'm about to bring up. For the longest time, I know the website Ghost Stop was selling this. I don't think they're selling them as much anymore, but they were selling this. What would have been great to use in that area is, for years there was a type of, like those remote control cars like kids play with, the remote control.
Yeah.
So there was actually one that was used for ghost hunting that it was just simply a remote control car with a small infrared camera implanted on top of it. In fact, your phone was the actual controller because it had an app connected to it. And I thought that would have been a perfect time to use it, because that is the type of tool that I think to myself that when we think a place is too dangerous for us to go in and investigate, we would send the car in. Unfortunately, it was very expensive, obviously, at the time, so I couldn't afford it. And this was also, it wasn't like that type of investigation saying, you know, hey, we're going to go check out this area later tonight. It was like right then and there. So obviously there wasn't any time to even think about that. So it was really one of those areas that if we had used it, if we were to send it through those tunnels, no big deal, because at least we're not, you know, risking ourselves.
Yes, good idea. Let me just remind everybody we've got 5 minutes left before we go off there. Have you got anything to add, Mary?
I have nothing. I'm taking up everything, and it's very interesting to hear about those secret places.
Yeah.
And, in the Netherlands, of course, there are tunnels, but it's well known and you can't get in. And yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah. So what are you doing tomorrow night, Mary? What you're up to?
Probably having my friend over for dinner.
Oh, lovely.
And yes, I won't be in tomorrow night to talk about dreams. So I have a day off.
Good girl. What about you, Robert? Robert, what you're up to?
I'll try to be on, but there's no guarantee because it's not like that starts at 5. This one started at 6, and it's 7:27 now. So I might still be sleeping.
What about you, Richard? What are you up to?
Tomorrow I'll be on Fools and Ghouls, obviously. Talking about dreams.
Yeah.
I had lots of dreams. Not necessarily the wet ones.
Boy.
And no, probably be Saturday. I'm going to be editing my video for Sleep Airfield, which I just visited with Wednesday Paranormal and K2 Paranormal.
Yeah.
And that's about it, really.
Right. What about you, Wayne? What you're up to?
I've got to get back to my laptop. I'm going to be writing again tomorrow.
Right.
I'm now sort of getting close to finishing off my 5th book, and it's been a long time waiting. It's been just over 2 years now since I first started writing it.
I might start reflecting your work, actually.
And it's now coming to the conclusion. Now we're getting to the good bits.
Right.
So I'm hoping that literally by Halloween it will be ready to buy. So I've set the target, but in amongst all that, I've got a lot of things going on with my son Ethan. The poor Mike, his hip operation kept getting pushed back and changing doctors and everything else. Now we're finally getting somewhere. And I've had to put in a complaint against the NHS because it's been 2 years now. He's been waiting for a hip replacement. So we're finally getting everything sorted there. And then obviously coming on the show in the evening, I've heard of this very bizarre show that I used to be on called Fools and Ghouls.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, Nick? What are you doing? We've got a minute left. Yeah, what are you doing?
Not really much. The only thing I could really just think of is, I'm going to try to be on Fools and Ghouls tomorrow, but I also just want to say a word out. And this is, I'm saying this from a personal matter. Sadly, I do have to go to a funeral this upcoming Saturday. Right. Our next door neighbor, he passed away. And long story short, he had an accident. He was trying to help a baby bird put back into the nest. But unfortunately, as you know, Robert, I remember I told you about it. But keeping things real short, unfortunately, I don't know what happened, but he fell off either a ladder or a step stool or something, and he hit his head on the concrete.
Well, I'm sorry about that. But just to finish off now, I'm just going to say thank you very much for joining us tonight. I think it's been an interesting talk with everybody. Very interesting. I won't be with you tomorrow. I'm working 7 a.m. till 9. 9:30 tomorrow night. But thank you all very much for joining us tonight. All of the people, Kat, Nikki, Noreen, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on Fools and Ghouls. Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.
Good night.